Cade Cunningham, he's just a different breed, man. Cade Cunningham is him. Screw the tank, man. Enjoy Cade Cunningham. We'll talk about what he did against the Atlanta Hawks last night on today's episode of the Locked On Pistons podcast.
You are Locked On Pistons, your daily Detroit Pistons podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's the deal? Welcome back to another episode of the Locked On Pistons podcast. Per usual, I am your host, Kook Heel. You can find me over on Twitter at Kook Heel. Also want to thank you guys for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. We're free and available on all your podcast platforms. And if you have not already, head to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button over at Locked On Pistons. We are on our way to 2,000 subscribers. We are also trying to show Locked On that we are the fastest and best growing fan base at the Locked On Network. So again, head to the YouTube channel at Locked On Pistons and hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. The Detroit Pistons are on a 3-game winning streak. Yes, a 3-game winning streak. That is a big deal for the Pistons this year. For any team that's just supposed to be not that good, a 3-game winning streak is a pretty damn big deal. And it came in an overtime win against the Atlanta Hawks by a score of 113 to 110. There were so many good things that happened within this game. So many good things. I want to give a quick update about a few things that took place in this game before we talk about Cade Cunningham. Isaiah Stewart only played 9 minutes tonight. He suffered a knee injury that, I'm just going to be honest with you guys, if you guys didn't watch the game, it does not look good. We haven't gotten any updates on him yet. I'll be sure to let you guys know if it does come in while I'm recording. But someone rolled up on his knee, and it didn't look good. So stay on the lookout for that. Hopefully he's all right. But I had to give that update because that's going to be a pretty big deal. If something seriously is wrong with his knee, no one wants that to be the case. So I had to tell you guys that and update you guys there. But getting that out the way, again, prayers up to Isaiah Stewart. But we want to be positive and want to be happy on the podcast because it really was a great win despite seeing Stu go down like that. Cade Cunningham finished the game with 28 points, 10 assists, 6 rebounds. His 6th game this season with a 25-5-5 game. This dude is your rookie of the year. There's just I don't understand how you can watch him and not think he is the rookie of the year. There's no way. Evan Mobley and all these other guys are getting over, and Scotty Barnes are getting overrated because they're on winning teams with good players around them. The Pistons, since the turn of the year, since the team started getting a little bit better, are 12-14. This team, talent-wise, without Cade Cunningham, should be like the bottom of the league with like 7 wins, 8 wins, 9 wins, something like that. Cade Cunningham is making this team relevant, making this team play 500 type of basketball when he's on the floor. If he was playing with other all-stars, who knows what this team would look like. But Cade Cunningham just is incredible. He shot 10 of 25 from the field. Wasn't that efficient of a night, but he came through in the fourth quarter and overtime. Played really well down the stretch. And I want to give props to Jeremy Grant as well for letting him take over and letting him control the game. But Cade Cunningham, man, he ended the game with 5 fouls. He picked up his 5th foul at the end of the fourth quarter and was able to play the rest of the fourth quarter and overtime aggressively on both sides of the floor without picking up that foul. That was another big step in his development there. That's a big thing that you want to see because he's been dealing with foul trouble and learning how to be aggressive when he's in foul trouble. And he did a good job of that tonight. He had 10 assists compared to 3 turnovers. It's a 3-to-1 turnover ratio. That's pretty damn good. He just played extraordinary tonight, man. He hit multiple clutch buckets at the clutch bucket. He found his teammates wide open when it was there. When they doubled him, he found the right guy. He just made the right basketball play over and over and over, whether that was him needing to take over and score the ball, which was majority of the game, or even when he was in the middle of being hot and most guys would take a heat check. He's finding an open guy when they double team him. If he's not open, doesn't have the best shot, he sees someone else has a better shot, he makes that play. He made that play over and over and over again down the stretch of this game in the fourth quarter and overtime. It's just great to see, man. He plays like he's just like a veteran. He's 20 years old and he plays like he's a veteran. And he's extremely skilled. He's just extremely talented. The dude is just different, man. The Pistons got so lucky they got him. Their future is going to be insanely bright simply because they have Cade Cunningham. Like, there's all kinds of other things that happened last night that should have a lot of fans happy and looking forward to the future as well. Like, noticeable step forwards and from multiple players. But Cade Cunningham is going to make sure that this team is not where they've been the past decade. He is going to take this team to the next level. He's going to take this team back to the glory days that they were at back when I was a kid. That's how special he is. He is special, man. Special. And that's why, even with the lottery, yes, you want to get a high pick. And if let the chips fall what they may, if it's destiny that the Pistons deserve or should be at the top of the draft, they'll end up at the top of the draft lottery. But I'm telling you this right now. Watching these games and seeing the Pistons win these games and go on a winning streak like this because their number one overall pick is going off and playing like a generational player, and watching guys take steps forward, like I'm just going to preview the rest of the podcast, like Marvin Bagley, seeing Jeremy Grant make a noticeable step back to actually have Pistons people and the front office consider possibly giving Jeremy Grant the extension because of how he's been able to step back. If he's able to do that the rest of the year and shows the willingness to step back and give Cade the keys to the team and play well off ball, seeing Killian Hayes get better as the season goes on, see Sadiq Bey get better as the season goes on, see Isaiah Livers show that he may be an actual good piece of the team moving forward. Like, seeing these guys play well, and again, headlined by Cade Cunningham, looking like an absolute star, superstar in the making, there's no way that you should be looking after the game or thinking during the game, man, the lottery odds, man. What happens if we win this game? We really shouldn't win this game. There's no way you should be thinking about that. You should not be thinking about that. If the Pistons end up with the third odds, they end up with the third odds. If they just so happen to somehow follow the fourth, which I don't think they will. I don't see that happening. But if they do, then so be it. If it happens because of this play that's happening, be happy about this play that's happening. You should be happy that your young core is growing. Again, if it was happening because of veterans, okay, I get it. But Cade Cunningham is showing you why he's going to be a superstar for the Pistons and why the Pistons are going to be contending for years to come because of him. As long as this front office does the right things and putting pieces around him, they have that piece. You see pieces across the NBA from former Piston teams. The Pistons were always good at getting role players and decent players and good starters. You see Reggie Jackson contributing for the Clippers. You see Bruce Brown contributing for the Nets. You see Andre Drummond contributing to the Nets. You see Luke Kennard contributing to the Clippers. You see Marcus Morris contributing to the Clippers. You see Tobias Harris contributing to the Philadelphia 76ers. Across the league, you see these past Pistons that were good players but just weren't it. They were never able to get it, the guy. They have the guy now. And now all they need to do is find those role players again. And it looks like, because of the play that we've been seeing and some of the steps forward that we've been seeing, that they might be finding these guys already. Just to need to add some more pieces this offseason, which looks like they'll be able to do. Screw the tank, man. Screw the tank. If this is what you get, besides the in cost of possibly losing some lottery odds, then so be it. Then so be it, man. Cade Cunningham, Rookie of the Year. Stop playing with the man. Put the buffs on, man. Put the buffs on. When we come back, we'll talk about some of the other players that really look good in this game and some players that are taking steps forward. I had a lot of fun watching this game, man. This game was so much fun watching. So many good things to take away from this game. We'll talk about all that when we come back. But first, I have to tell you guys about another one of our sponsors, BetOnline.net. The football season might be over this year with my quarterback, Matthew Stafford, winning a Super Bowl in his first year away from the Detroit Lions. Who would have guessed? But basketball is in full steam for both pro and college hoops. From all the latest odds, totals, and player performance props to where the next fire coach is going to land, BetOnline.net is the number one spot for all your sports betting needs. BetOnline remains the best spot for all your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline.net is your source for hockey, boxing, UFC odds, right to the Olympic coverage and information. And whenever MLB gets, their thing going and ends up getting this season started, if they ever get this season started, your baseball fans, those of you like the Pistons that also like baseball, you guys can head to betonline.net and also get going there with some baseball. Have some fun with that. Make sure you head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action today. Again, head to the website today, betonline.net, or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and action today. BetOnline, where the game starts. So I want to thank you guys again for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. We're free and available on all your podcast platforms. And if you have not already, head to our YouTube channel at Locked On Pistons. Hit that subscribe button. We're on our way to 2,000 subscribers. We're also trying to show Locked On that we are the best and fastest growing fan base at the Locked On Network. So again, head to the YouTube channel at Locked On Pistons. Hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. But this game against the Hawks, man, not just did Cade Cunningham go crazy, there was a lot to like about this game. A lot to like. A lot of good things from multiple players. And you guys know who I'm going to start with first. Killian Hayes. He had 13 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds off the bench. He was a plus 13 on the game, a team-leading plus 13. He played 30 minutes. And what did I tell you guys in the last podcast? I said Killian Hayes looks better when you give him more minutes and let him play through mistakes and let him play freely. And he played freely tonight. He had a 3 that was taken away from him because it was on his fingertips. He should have ended the game with like 16 points. There's another 2 jumpers that he hit that his toe was on the line, which I don't think we're going to be too mad about his toe being on the line because we just want to see shots go in. But overall, man, he just played a tremendous game. The Pistons, and again, there should be no reason why Corey Joseph should ever play more minutes than Killian Hayes the rest of the season. This should be how it is the rest of the season. But Killian made play after play defensively. He found guys open when he was controlling the offense off the bench. Him and Cade played together a lot of this game, and they looked tremendous together. And there's another trio that we'll talk about in a minute that looked really well together. But Killian Hayes played really well. He made shots. He was aggressive trying to score the basketball. And that's all you want from him. Again, he shot 5 of 8 this game. But even next game, he shoots 3 of 8, 3 of 9, 4 of 10, something like that. You want him to continue to be aggressive, looking for his shot. He looks better when he does that. It opens up the offense. I really loved what we saw from Killian tonight, man. And this is what you can get from him moving forward. And this is the type of player that he could be moving forward. Imagine if his 3-point shot starts getting better and he starts improving on this. This type of player is it could be a major contributor for a contending team. That type of player, a guy who plays defense, can ball handle and run the offense and can bring some scoring as well. A guy who can be like a 14, 15, maybe 13 to 15 point per game guy who gets like 6 assists a game, 5 rebounds, and plays incredible defense. That's someone that every team would want. And this performance just gives you a little glimpse of what he can be. I just hope for the rest of the season he continues to play this aggressive. He's continued to given that kind of confidence from his coaching staff and the kind of leash from his coaching staff to continue to play this freely because he really looked good tonight. I absolutely loved what we saw from Killian. I was having so much fun watching it. So happy for him, man. So happy. And another thing, he was aggressive going to the basket, and he got himself 4 free throws tonight, which aren't a lot, but it's more than he usually gets. He usually goes games without even getting a free throw attempt, which I just can't stand because he's 6'5" and strong. He should be getting to the basket and forcing fouls. In one of these drives, he did a crossover to his right, drove right-handed, and forced the foul. That was one of his best drives of the season, going to his right and playing strong, forcing contact. He doesn't have to get all the way to the rim with his right. Once he gets to his right, he just needs to go up strong and force contact and get to the free throw line. I love that drive from him. One thing I will say before we move on to someone else, he shot 2 of 4 from the free throw line. He's shooting around like 68% from the free throw line over the last like 3 weeks. Now it's on incredibly small sample size because he doesn't get a lot of free throws. It's like one free throw attempt a game or something. But that's a little bit worrisome for me because he's always been like around an 85 to 90%, like in that area of a free throw shooter. It's kind of weird what's going on with him over the past 3 weeks from the free throw line. On small volume, I get it. It may just be, random and not something to really look into because it's on such a small sample because he barely gets free throws. But definitely something to keep an eye on because he shot 2 of 4 tonight. He makes those. He has 15 points, and it's even better night. But overall, just a great night for him. Next guy who had an incredible night, Marvin Bagley. Had 19 points, 10 rebounds, 2 steals, a block, and an assist tonight. He was plus 11 on the floor. He played 36 minutes. Listen, no one wants Isaiah Stewart to be hurt. I'm praying that nothing is legitimately wrong with him, even though the knee injury really did look bad. I'm really worried about what it's going to be when it comes out, whenever we hear about what it is. But no one wants him to be hurt. But if he is hurt, if it's something serious, this person who should be starting in his place is Marvin Bagley. Marvin Bagley looks like he was an absolute steal by the Pistons. They gave up basically nothing for this guy, and he looks like he could be a legit contributor for years to come. He looks like he could be a legit baller for years to come. He got out from Sacramento. He got out from those expectations of having to be the better player of Luka Doncic, to be a better player than Trae Young. He got out from those expectations. Now he's in Detroit. He's just asking to be the best player he can possibly be and just develop and not worry about those expectations. And he's been absolutely great for the Pistons. I can't tell you guys enough about how special and how amazing it is to have a lob threat on this team. He got about 5 lobs this game. And a lot of his points, like I told you guys, he's a good athlete. He finishes around. He's a tremendous finisher around the rim. And the Pistons have been taking advantage of that, specifically Killian Hayes and Cade Cunningham. Those 2 guys combined, I believe, threw him 5 lobs tonight. Killian threw him 1 on the short roll, and Cade threw him like 4 more outside of that. And he had like another 2 baskets on putback dunks. This dude is just active and is such a good finisher around the rim and such an explosive athlete that he's able to score 14 to 15 points just off of putbacks, dump offs, and lobs. And that's without going into his talent that he shows on the in post-up. I saw a tweet. I should have pulled this tweet up. That's a mistake by me, guys. But I saw this tweet today from someone on NBA Twitter, and it was them talking about how well he's played for the Pistons, Marvin Bagley. And he's shooting like something like 56% on turnaround hooks. He's shooting like 75% at the rim. He has a high points per possession in post-up situations. He is playing extremely well for the Pistons, and the Pistons, specifically their ball handlers and Killian Hayes and Cade Cunningham, are learning how to play with him and take advantage of his lob threat ability and lob threat. Lob threat. I don't know why I'm trying to find it. It's literally his threat to be catch a lob at the rim. He's playing really well, man. And there's something else I have to give him amazing credit for. Offensively, it's been great to see. Defensively, he's still not that good defensively. He has his lapses. He's not that great just overall defensively. He's just not that good defensively. And he probably is never going to be that good defensively. You just want to get him to become average or just passable. One thing that he's showing that I think is a great development and could lead to him being a passable defender and allows him to be on the court for these type of minutes. That dude does not jump on switches. The Pistons are a switch-heavy team. It may be the best way to play with Marvin Bagley on the floor as a switch, maybe drop coverage if they ever want to try to test it out. But it looks like right now they're going with switching. He switched on Trae Young multiple possessions. And did Trae Young get around him a few times? He did. He still forced a tough look around the basket. Trae Young shot, 5 of 20 from the field. The Pistons did a great job of guarding him. And part of that had to do with Marvin Bagley just not jumping on any of these switches. Trae Young wanted to get him to bite on a lot of pump fakes. He wanted to get him to bite on a lot of hezzies. He wanted to get him to bite on a lot of step backs. Marvin Bagley does not jump on switches. And that's something that we've seen ever since he became a Piston. He does not jump on switches. He may get beat to the basket and may allow a layup or two when guys get around him. But one thing you can guarantee he will not do, he will not jump and give a guy free throws. And that is tremendous on switches. He forces guys to try to get around him and try going to help defense or shoot over his length. Now, guys apparently shoot really well over his length. They do it a lot. I mean, you give him credit for getting a good contest. But tonight, that didn't happen, and it was tremendous seeing him just not jump. Because it really forced Trae Young and everyone else he switched onto. It made it really tough on them to try to create a shot because they're trying to get a big guy to bite on a hezzy. They're trying to get a guy to bite on that little hezzy pump fake. And he was not biting on any of it. He was staying on his feet, staying in front of these guys. And he was just tremendous on that side of the ball doing that. If he can do that routinely and continue to contribute the way he has offensively, the Pistons have themselves an absolute player. And I can't wait for the future with him, Cade Cunningham, and whoever they add in the offseason with Sadiq Bey, Isaiah Stewart, Killian Hayes, possibly Jeremy Grant if he comes back around, and who else? But Marvin Bagley looks like he's a legit piece, man. A baller. Loved what he brought offensively, but again, defensively with him staying on his feet. That was just amazing to watch. You guys know I love the small details, and that's one of those small details that I feel like really helped the Pistons win tonight. He bites on some of those. He gives Trae Young easy buckets. Now the Pistons may be playing a little less aggressive, and Trae Young may have gotten things going, but he didn't. And Trae Young had one of his worst nights of the season. Great win from the Pistons. Great play from Cade, Killian Hayes, and Marvin Bagley. And now there is another player that I want to talk about that played really well last night against not the Los Angeles Lakers. I don't know why we thought about the Lakers. I was looking at the Lakers score. They're currently losing to the Spurs. Like I told you guys on the last podcast, I like seeing the Lakers lose. It's always funny, everything that happens afterwards. But anyways, there's another player that I thought played really well last night and should be a mainstay in the rotation and fans should be really excited about. But before we talk about that, you guys have to hear about some of our sponsors. So I want to thank you guys again for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. We are free and available on all your podcast platforms. And if you have not already, head to our Locked On Pistons YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. We are on our way to 2,000 subscribers, trying to show Locked On that we are the best and fastest growing fan base at the Locked On Network. And I have some incredible news to share with you guys. We did it. We had incredible interaction over the last month in the month of February. We are growing as a fan base. We are growing as a channel. We are growing as a podcast. This past month in February, we had the highest numbers and highest viewership in the history of Locked On Pistons in the month of February. Any month ever, last month, we had the highest viewership, highest numbers in the history of this podcast. I just want to say real quick before we talk about why I wanted to the next player that I want to really dive into. But I really want to thank you guys for all the support you guys have given me, how you guys have grown with me. I wasn't that great when we started the podcast. You guys know this if you guys have been there since I joined last April. Now, I remember when I recorded the first podcast, I was literally in this room that I'm recording in right now, sweating, trying to read the ad reads and trying to keep this thing going. And it was an adjustment period. And for the first few weeks, it probably was a little rough. But you guys stayed with me. You guys gave me a chance as a young dude. Probably, I think I'm the youngest person at the Locked On Network. I'm very young for in the profession I'm doing right now and the career field I'm in right now. I'm really young. A lot of guys don't get these kind of opportunities until later on. So it was a little bit of a rough patch at first. I'll admit it. I had to grow. You guys grew with me. You guys believed in me, and you guys have shown me the absolute insane support over the past almost year now. With the development and the creation of our YouTube channel, we have like 2 separate amazing fan bases, both on the podcast and the YouTube channel. Just thank you guys a lot, man, for supporting and showing Locked On that we are legit the best fan base and the fastest growing fan base at the Locked On Network. This past month, this is all for you guys. Obviously, you guys tuning in and supporting me. You guys made that happen. I was so happy to see that and get that email from my guys. From my bosses saying that we had our best month ever at Locked On Pistons. I believe this Locked On Pistons podcast has been around for like 5 years, 6 years. And I've just took over. It hasn't even been a year yet. And we're already shattering numbers, man. We're going to try to shatter those numbers in the future to come as well, man. Let's try to do it again next month and the month after that. We're going to keep growing. You guys know I'm going to keep coming. So, but anyways, thank you guys. But anyways, let's talk about Isaiah Livers, who I thought played exceptional last night against the Atlanta Hawks. I really like Isaiah Livers. I think he's a player. I think the Pistons really found themselves a diamond in the rough in that second round. I think he's going to be a long-term player. Whether he may not be a long-term player for the Pistons because he's the type of player who's going to be I think he's going to be a long-term player in the league, but he's going to be someone I think is probably tradable because teams are going to like him. He's someone you're going to be able to attach in trades for other guys. So I could see a situation in the future where he's one of those guys to get attached or thrown into some trades. But overall, his future as an NBA player and possibly just his overall future as a Piston, absolutely love it. I have no doubts about it that he's going to be like a 10 to 12-year vet at least in this league. He's a three-point shooter. He's a great connector offensively. When I say connector offensively, you guys don't know what I mean. He knows how to play within the offense and keep the offense smooth, keep the offense running smoothly. He doesn't hold the ball or force things. He sees the right things on the court. He's not a ball handler. He's not like a playmaker or anything, but he's a high IQ player. And all the Michigan fans I talked to, all the Michigan guys I talked to say that apparently that was one of his biggest assets at Michigan. He's just a connector. He's a high IQ basketball player. There were so many plays last night. He shot 3 of 6 from the field, by the way. 3 of 6 from deep, had 9 points. He played 24 minutes, and he was closing the game over Sadiq, who had a really rough night, 3 of 11 from the field. And he was playing better than Sadiq last night. Sadiq ended up closing it out in OT, which I think was the right decision. But Isaiah Livers really did earn all of those 24 minutes. But if you watch last night and just watch some of his plays offensively, he knows where to be on spot-ups. He knows where to rotate offensively. And if you don't know, like, rotating offensively, what do you mean rotate? I know what rotations defensively means. What's rotating offensively mean? You don't want to just stand in one area offensively when a guy drives. For example, one of the ones I told you guys about like last week, one of the most simple ones that you learn very early as a basketball player. I learned this one like in my freshman year of high school. Is when a guy drives baseline, if you're sitting on the wing, you want to drop immediately to the corner, rotate to that corner, give him an easy pass because defenses are going to be dropping down, tagger in a roll. They're going to be playing midline defense on a baseline drive, and that drop to the corner is going to be wide open. You give him that key pass. So that's another rotation. That's like one of the rotating offensively, what I mean off ball. But it's not just corner. Rotating from the wing to the top of the key, knowing when to flow with the ball movement, flow with the dribble drive. He knows how to do all that perfectly. He knows where to be in the right spot constantly to be open for spot up threes. He also knows how to make the right pass instantly. Killian Hayes hit a 3 tonight from the right wing, and it came off an immediate touch pass from Isaiah Livers, who read the situation quickly. He doesn't hold the ball, wait to see if he can dribble drive or attack a closeout. If he knows that this is going to be open, he knows the guys are going to come out and close out at him. He knows where all of his teammates are at, and he makes the quick pass and got Killian Hayes open 3. He's just an incredibly high IQ basketball player that makes your offense better simply because he knows how to play within your offense. He knows how to play basketball. He knows how to play NBA level basketball, professional basketball, high IQ player, and he's an incredible shooter. That obviously is the main thing. But all those other things, incredibly key to a type of player you want on the floor. And then defensively, man, usually rookies are awful defensively. Most all rookies are awful defensively. They may showcase a little bit staying in front of guys or one-on-one defensively, but as far as it goes to defensive rotations or knowing how to tag down a roller and retreat back or make a rotation to the corner or know when to switch or play within a scheme, all that kind of stuff, usually rookies are absolute horrific at those things. He is not. He's actually pretty damn good at these things. It's been a small sample size, but he's pretty damn good at this. There was a charge call, I believe it was the third quarter. It was a charge call on Danilo Gallinari, and Kelly Olynyk drew the charge, but that play was not made. Well, obviously, Kelly Olynyk did make the play. He slid over and made the ending play, but that was all caused by Isaiah Livers and Killian Hayes. On multiple, I wish I could just, I really wish I could just bring up the play and just show it to all you guys on YouTube, but, can't do that kind of thing, don't want to get copyrighted, you feel me? But it was, they multiple drives from the top of the key. Killian Hayes tags down the roller so they can't drop it off to the roller, so they make that kick out to the corner to their skip pass, and Isaiah Livers is right there to make that rotation to close that one out. Then he forces them baseline. The guy drives baseline, and the big man sitting in the paint, Killian Hayes drops down to that big man and takes away that drop-off. So then the guy gets stuck underneath the rim. Isaiah Livers does not jump. He forces him to kick the ball back out. That guy drives to the paint. Isaiah Livers does the right drop down, takes the jump-off pass from the ball handler to the big guy. So now that guy has to force it right out to Danilo Gallinari. It's a short shot clock now, and now Gallinari has to try to force the shot, drive to the rim, and that enables Kelly Olynyk to slide over and get that charge call. I probably didn't do an absolute great job of describing that. You guys may have gotten lost a little bit during that. If you guys kept up, thank you. But just overall, that play really stood out to me. I'm probably going to break it down on Twitter tomorrow, so if you guys want to see it in live action, follow me on Twitter at Kukuyel. I'll probably break it down tomorrow on my Twitter. But it's just that play that was enabled by Kelly Olynyk to take that charge was caused because of Killian Hayes and Isaiah Livers both just knowing where to be defensively, knowing tendencies of basketball, maybe not even just rotations, just knowing tendencies. A lot of stuff that happens on a basketball court, it's not just scheme. A lot of it just has to come instincts. A lot of it just has to come from playing the game and being high-level IQ. That was one of the things, not to toot my own horn, but that was one of the things I was just really good at. I just have really good instincts. And a lot of players, some of them are you're just born with good instincts. You have it as a basketball player, and some players just don't have good instincts as a basketball player, and some people just can't develop it. Isaiah Livers has great instincts as a basketball player. A lot of it maybe isn't even just scheme. A lot of it is just knowing, okay, the common play here is that he's going to try to go to this baseline. He's going to try to dump it off to this big guy that's hanging around the paint to Capella. I'm going to tag down, try to take this away and force them to kick it out. I'm going to make a great closeout as well. Like all that kind of stuff is just instincts. And he showed that repeatedly over and over and over and over again defensively. And he was a key part as well. He switched on Trae Young multiple times as well and didn't jump on closeouts or on not on closeouts, but on switches with Trae Young. He did an incredible job defensively, just knowing where to be, knowing how to make the right play, not jumping, not fouling, making the right rotations, making the right tags, all those things. And actually, I should probably explain to you guys, when I say tagging the roller, I don't know if all of you guys will know what tagging means. Tagging is when the roller or someone cutting down, whether it's a roller coming off a pick and roll or just like cutter coming from the wing or whatever, the weak side guy comes over and tags down that roller so you can take that roll away and forces them to try and make that skip pass. And depending on the scheme, whether he has to be the one to get out to that corner or a guy from the wing drops down to the corner, whatever. But overall, just tagging the roller means that guy from the weak side is coming over and tagging down on that roller and stopping that lob or dump off pass from happening. Either way, he did a great job of that defensively. Offensively, he knew where to be, knew how to connect an offense. And this trio of Killian Hayes, Kelly Olynyk, and Isaiah Livers play so great together because all of them are great connectors offensively. They're all just know where to be. They're high-level athletes, high-level basketball players, or high IQ basketball players. They know when to make the right pass. They're going to keep moving. They're going to keep playing within the offense. And you saw when those three guys were out there on the court, I believe there was a lineup with him, those three guys, Cade Cunningham, I forget who the other, I think it was Marvin Bagley. It was the perfect combination. Guys just continuing making the right pass, making the right driving kicks. When Cade would drive and kick out to Kelly Olynyk, immediately swings over to Killian Hayes. Killian Hayes had Actually, let me describe a specific play for you guys. Then we'll end the podcast. I know I'm a little bit ranting here because I'm just really excited. But there was a specific play that happened. Cade Cunningham drove down the lane, made a kick out to Kelly Olynyk. Kelly Olynyk immediately swung it to Killian Hayes in the corner. Killian Hayes pump fake, got the defender to drive by, took 2 dribbles in, sucked the defense in. They made a great cross-court skip to Isaiah Livers, who instantly shot the ball. There was a closeout coming. Other players may have hesitated to shoot that and tried to do something else with it. Isaiah Livers knows his job. He knows he's a great three-point shooter. And if you're not completely in his space, he's letting that ball rip. And he got it up, and he made the 3. It was just one of my favorite plays from the night, man. You guys know I love the small things, and those kind of things right there keep the offense humming, keep the offense playing smoothly. It's not always having everyone on the floor be able to create their own shot or ISO basketball and be able to go out there and score. You need those guys who are able to connect an offense and make the right basketball play and know how to play basketball. And those 3 guys, when they were on the court, did that, and it was just incredible to see. Isaiah Livers, I think he has to find a way to stay in the rotation. I don't know how Dwayne Keith is going to do it when everyone's healthy. I know Hamidou Diallo has to come back. He missed last night. Frank Jackson also missed last night. I don't care who has to miss minutes. Isaiah Livers should be getting 20 minutes tonight for this team, 15 to 20 minutes tonight. He's a great find by Troy Weaver. I love this guy. I love this kid. I think he's going to be a good player for years to come. A really nice player for years to come. I love him. Love this kid. But that's all I've got for you guys today. Tremendous win by the Detroit Pistons at the Atlanta Hawks. I absolutely loved it. Great win, man, from all kinds of players. Great performances. Just loved it. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. I want to thank you guys for making Locked On Pistons you guys' first listen of every single day. We are free and available on all your podcast platforms. And if you have not already, head to our YouTube channel at Locked On Pistons. It's the best way to support the podcast. Even if you don't want to watch it on YouTube, just simply, if you want to find the best way to support the podcast, go to the YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. Again, I'd really appreciate it. Make sure you guys make Locked On NBA your second listen of every single day. Locked On Experts, covering the biggest stories around the NBA every Monday through Friday in less than 30 minutes. It's free and available wherever you get your podcast. Until the next podcast, I will see you guys later. The Pistons play again on Wednesday. I forget who they play against, but you guys will see them again in action on Wednesday. We'll be here with a podcast Wednesday morning. Stay tuned. And until next time, great win by your Detroit Pistons. Cade Cunningham is him. I'll see you guys later. Peace out, everybody, and stay safe.